Hello, hello. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Oh man, I don't know about you guys. My house is cold. A lot of snow where I'm at. Well, maybe not a lot, but yeah. I'm casually looking at the chat. I see last week's community winners. I see Flory over on Twitch, and I see Thunderflame over on YouTube. Congrats again, guys. Those were great submissions you had from the last week. Hope you enjoyed those bragging rights that you got. Stream's gonna be starting here in a little less than a minute, guys. Generally goes for 2 hours. I see that question, even though I see people already helping out. But yeah, we're gonna have a nice casual hangout session stream today. Just want to be upfront, since we are a very transparent development company, there are no spoilers happening today. It is a hangout, game dev with community, space. 1 second, I'll start the stream up. Greetings and welcome, Rockfish Games community. I am your host, Eric Schrader, the community ambassador for Rockfish Games, your servant, your guide for all things EVERSPACE 2. And first off, I just want to say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, you know the drill, to all the people out there. I'm sure that you're all getting prepped since we're like 2 days out and I still need to wrap my wife's Christmas present. Whew. But yeah, it's looking really great over here at Rockfish. We've been hammering things home this last week for us. Next week, we're going to be a bit out of the office, letting individuals go hang out with their families and their friends and, you know, doing that sort of thing, as you probably are all accustomed to. We will have some floaters like myself who will still be present on the communication channels. So if you still have questions, if you still want to make forum posts, you know, all that type of stuff, we'll still be lurking in the shadows, ensuring that you're taken care of. So please know that. So today, we don't really have too much of details going on. Today's stream, we've got one guaranteed thing that's gonna happen. We are going to ensure that we reveal the contest winners for this last week. And some of you guys might be saying, wait, what? There's a contest? Yeah, it's a little bit of a stream Discord sort of exclusive deal. It's very light as of right now, but we are going to be building up these contests over time in this 1.0 home stretch. And for right now, the first community contest that we had was a screenshot contest. with a specific theme regarding what needed to be taken. And this next week, this sort of last week of 2023, also had that same sort of deal. I said 2023, it's 2022. Slow down there, me. Slow down. But yeah, so we will be revealing those contest winners at the end of the stream. And they'll get some bragging rights in the Discord for about a week's time, and we'll highlight their image and, you know, that type of stuff. But cool. So, with that being said, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna load up a save file. I think I'm gonna start with, I was actually kind of thinking I'd just start a new game and just like be playing as I'm just talking with you guys. That kind of sounds fun to me. But if that seems really slow and not as interesting, I can always load up my dang near 100% completed save file and just kind of go from there, answer questions, show content, and we are just going to be flying by the seat of our pants today. So whatever sort of happens, we're just going to embrace that. We're going to love on it, and hopefully I don't accidentally show any spoilers today. So yeah, because all that stuff's for next year. That stuff's for next year. Have we been making progress? Oh heck yeah, we have. It's been good. It's been real good. So yeah. If you see something that looks out of place, I should also say, you know, a traditional disclaimer, this is a game dev build. It is not the same one you guys have access to. So in the case of a wonky, just nod your head and say, okay, yep, I was expecting this. Because seriously, there's probably gonna be something that goes awry. And yeah, that's okay. It's totally fine. So I hope that you guys will embrace that with me. And, you know, again, I'm going to be answering tons of your questions as we're just kind of hanging out today. So I'm picking up where I was kind of screwing around earlier this week. I picked up a Vanguard. I wanted to try some new stuffs. And yeah, this build, by the way, is not optimized for any sort of Rift runs. I know I saw some individuals asking like, hey, can you please do a Rift run? We could probably do that. That's probably not a problem. I'm not doing 1000 because those take a very finely optimized build for me, at least. Some other you out there are like, oh, I could do it with blah, blah, blah. And that's great. I'm happy for you, but I can't do that, especially while answering questions and all this type of stuff. So we'll just kind of like see where things go. Over here at the Freelancer hangar, I mean, if you guys wanted to choose a ship, I could swap things out for something else that's here. Again, like this is a very free-form stream where you guys are going to be asking questions. I'm going to just be showing stuff, but nothing too revealing. And we're just going to go from there. Actually, I'm going to fly my Vanguard for a little bit. I'm just going to be stubborn about this. I want to fly my Vanguard. Hey guys, it's going to be a free form. You're going to be able to do this thing where you can say which ship you want and then just cancel it. Nope. But still. So yeah, we got an EVERSPACE 1 run. No. We're not going to go back to EVERSPACE 1. Not in today's stream. I do want to do that sometime though, Slurine, to be very clear. I would love to do a EVERSPACE 1 run, first run completion. I've done that tens of times, legitimately. It's not too bad when you've played the game a lot. And we could also do hardcore runs in EVERSPACE 1. That would be so much fun, but that'll be a different later stream. So this particular build, again, it's not super optimized or anything. We're just kind of using a bunch of devices here. Kind of the classic crowd control that I like, and then teleporter. I just feel like teleporter is a really good option for just get out of jail free card. It might not be the most fun, like Fusion Hook I think is a little bit more fun to use on that front. And we're just gonna use teleporters today for now, for the moment. Otherwise, you know, we kind of got firepower and precision adjusted using our mainframe expansions, but we've got a pretty sturdy utility, structure, expertise, and even an okay amount of resistance here. Let's see, as far as our inventory goes, the big thing is that we're using Thundercore. None of you guys have seen the legendaries. Thundercore is the one that makes everything just electrified all the time. It's very fun. So long as you're using some sort of EMP effect, you are going to be taking Thundercore for the wildest ride imaginable. It pairs really well, not just with the EMP generator itself, but also with any other elements that would blast an EMP from it, like our shield here has. There's also EMP missiles that we could add there, which would also apply the effect, and it just keeps going and going. In fact, we might just have a little bit of fun with that and just craft some EMP missiles for funsies. If we can even do that. Can we do that? Yes, they're the second one. Whew, goodness gravy. Yeah, so let's just craft some just for kicks and giggles. Are they going to be as good as what we have? No, absolutely not. But will it be fun shenanigans? I hope so. I hope so. Cool. And we're straight up doubling up. Ooh. Actually, hang on. We're gonna try one more thing. I want to get both of them to auto fire, even though that's kind of redundant. Yeah, okay. That's a good one. I like that. Even though the 2 seconds disabling shield, actually that could be really good with Thundercore, because then their shields are gone, then they take a ton of damage. Okay, yeah, I like this. This is excessive in all the right ways. All right. So, one last thing. So, even though the stream today is going to be incredibly flexible, and I will be giving you guys a bit more attention in the chat, you know, through conversation, all that type of stuff, we're still going to segment the structure of the stream to a sort of gameplay first, questions, gameplay, questions. So we go kind of that back and forth. That way we can ensure that no questions are lost. It's just the best way to really move forward. It's been such a treat adjusting things to that front. So Geekbite is behind the scenes today. His throat's a little bit sore. And instead of him talking with me in our question segments, he will write out the questions that I'll then read and respond to accordingly. So if you do have questions, throw them out there. If it seems like I'm intentionally avoiding it, it's probably because I am, and then I'll answer it in those pockets. Cool. Excellent. I like how I started the stream and then I went back and was like, okay, here's more details about the stream. Cool. So yeah, with like little to no plan of attack here, I'm just gonna go to some places that I really find fun. So I'm gonna head over to Drake and I'm gonna do some of the battle stuffs going on. Oh, we could actually, oh, my goodness. What are we doing? I'm already just like not 100% sure what the game plan is, guys. Oh my gosh. It's too loose. This is why we need a game plan. All right. Oh, look at all the kind statements saying get well soon. You guys are really awesome. Very thoughtful. Very thoughtful. So we're gonna head on over to Drake, travel here. I'm gonna try my best not to use any dev console cheats and commands today. All right.
Spatial bypass tech for the win.
That's right.
I am awaiting the next impending malfunction, so I can finally say, I told you so.
So let's just, let's take out a couple enemies, see how things kind of function here. So far, all according to plan. But we're gonna be flying around and taking on some jobs from the coalition here in a little bit. And of course, as I'm going through this, like if you guys are like, oh yeah, this seems interesting, but what if, and you have additional questions about any of the content that you see, or you have a thought that comes up that you're like, hey, this never got answered, or, you know, whatever, just shoot it my way. We'll put it into the list and hopefully we can get that answered. I do want to remark on one specific thing for one particular user, and that is that, well, it's honestly for all of you guys, but we have been hard-pressed with tackling some of the most notorious and game-breaking bugs within the game space. And, yeah, we think We may have found a solution to some of the more challenging issues with the notorious unnamed pickup. And yeah, we were still inspired a bit by some of the processes that could come out of it, and that may or may not become something in the future. No guarantees, but it's possible. Just wanted to mention that. Ooh, that's a minefield. All right, gonna head over to Lethos Starport, get ourselves some jobs. I do see a couple individuals asking some questions. I can answer like basic questions in the time between like now until our question segments. So just for the general audience, for those who are not familiar with the game or where we're at with early access or how progress is coming along or anything like that, do know that we have been in early access for I think technically over a year now. And we have made a lot of progress on the front of our vision, as well as community requests and feature requests and stuff like that. Nothing that's been so demanding that the content creep destroyed aspects of what we could do, but we've always been in line with and have been pursuing all of the promises that were established from the initial Kickstarter 50 years ago. And through that, we are very satisfied with a lot of the elements that we are bringing to the 1.0 launch of the game, which is scheduled for the first half of 2023, which can also be translated to early 2023. And yeah, so that's fun. Also, the 1.0 release will feature a couple additional elements like Russian localization, a full-blown story that's finalized, more polished systems, foundational systems that you guys have been exposed to, more just general content like equipment, modifiers, you know, all that type of stuff. Tier 4 ships, lots and lots. There's going to be more stuff happening to rifts in the future. Quite a bit of stuff from now until full release, so we really have to get our act together because there's not a lot of time left. But do know that it is coming along rather nicely. And then we will also have information regarding console support this January, just next month. So we'll let you guys know what we're bringing it to, why, how, when that release window is going to look like, all of those details accordingly. Do keep in mind, and I've said this once, I've said it plenty of times, and I want to set the expectation accordingly here. We've always wanted to have our release window for consoles to be around the same time as 1.0, okay? So yeah, just casually dropping that so you guys are aware. But yeah, we'll have more information next month for all of those details. I'm going to just take one more quick look at ships just to see if I want one of these other ones, but nah, not really. I'm going to keep flying this Vanguard. So let's see what jobs we have. Also, if you've ever looked at this and you were like, wow, why do you have so many jobs during the course of these streams? It's because I have like a dev cheat that populates way more than it's supposed to. So yeah, I'm definitely cheating the system here. I want to do a battle support here. I want to do a destroy base there. Let's do a search and destroy. And for a chill segment, let's do a station maintenance. That one's nearby. I like it. All right. Woo! Quick look at our equipment. Anything super fancy? Nothing too fancy. Let's just sell it all. Except for our legendary, of course. We're gonna keep that. Okay. Neat. Let's go finish up some of these jobbies.
Hive, what's your present condition?
I have fully adapted to the new craft and am in the process of acquainting myself with you again as its pilot. My databanks, as discussed, remain out of date until I am permitted to link to Eterna.
How about your personality protocols? Are you capable of switching?
You are dissatisfied with my default settings? Please, feel free to experiment.
I might just do that, Hive.
Like I said, I'm gonna try to avoid spoilers. So, for those who are familiar with like a lot of the stuffs that's going on in the game, just casual reminder, you know, the full voice work for both English and German is not scheduled for the 1.0 release, okay, about early 2023. And as such, you are probably going to see some text-to-speech stuff going on in the mix of some lines recorded, and it should be fun. I'm sure it'll be great.
Guys are sitting ducks out here. Let's redress the balance.
All right, let's just get super crazy with lightning all over the place. Yeah, this is what I like to see. Frost drones. Should probably pick the targets that are closer to me, but oh, wow, Coalition, you're getting decimated. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. There's probably those frost drones over there. Here, we'll just do this to get those out of the way. Oh man, I was hoping that was gonna be it. Woo! Barely got that one.
Yeah, we showed up.
We did it.
Good riddance then.
They're leaving.
Yeah, they'll think twice before they try that again. Finished
Excellent.
job for you.
Much appreciated, Mr. Roslin. Credits transferred.
All right, so also whenever you complete certain missions, you get rewards. You guys know that. Why am I explaining that to you? You know that already. You know that already. I am gonna go ahead and grab some more of these containers. And as you can see with legendaries outside of rifts, man, it's a nice little casual experience. You just kind of chop things up the way that you like. Feels good. Oh, I see another. Almost missed the shipwreck. What could possibly in there? Okay. All right. Okay. Neat. Never noticed that there was no icon for station maintenance. Yeah, station maintenance was one of those sort of new ones that were added, and we didn't actually know if it was going to be just like a standard job type or not. So this one was added, I think, with the latest update as a job 2 updates ago. And we just haven't gone back through to polish up the iconography. But some of these will likely get tweaked and adjusted. And of course, station maintenance will be one of those that gets adjusted. Happy holidays, everyone. Absolutely. Welcome everybody to the stream. All of those individuals who have been here before, to those who are showing up for the first time, welcome, welcome. Just a nice, chill stream for you all. I'm cold, so it's literally chill. Woo! My goodness. It's actually not terrible, but it's cold enough to me to complain. Oh my gosh. But yeah, just hanging out today with you all. So if you got questions, feel free to shoot them, and then we'll have little segments where we answer a slew of questions for you all. Yeah, and I did say, Serene's correct there. I did say that we are not doing any intentional reveals today. So let's clarify that point real quick. Nothing is intentionally meant to be shown, but you never know if you hang out long enough. Whoopsie doopsie. Oh, excuse me. No, thank you. I just want your loot. All right. I'm gonna clear up some of these fighters before I go in for the base shots. Hey!
Feel free to shoot at something.
Another to Stardust.
Man, I'm getting some good drops.
For your endeavors.
Excellent. What in the... Who's the... What's it? Oh, the turret's okay. Oops, we were a little too close to that. Got our shields knocked out. Happens to the best of us.
See you at the base.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. Excuse me. Woo. Oh, it's a shipwreck. I was trying to open the cargo unit. Give me the loot! Nope. Wow.
Excellent, Mr. Rosner.
Pretty decent loot drops, honestly. I mean, I'm not seeing any superiors, but I mean, I think it's also important to note that, you know, we are only level 25. Only. So, can't be getting all the best loot. All right, here we are. Let's grab this shipwreck. Okay. Couple more floaters, so we'll go ahead and just clean this up. When we're done with this engagement, we'll answer our first round of questions for you all, because I'm sure they're building up. Oh, my goodness, aren't they? You guys are asking lots of questions. Awesome! I'm glad you guys want to chat today. It's always a pleasure when you guys are diving in here, giving the stream energy. It's a lot of fun. You guys are fun. I like you a lot. I'm glad we get to hang out one last time before the new year. Warms my heart.
Intercepted. Target destroyed.
Man, I kind of felt like a bully there, just blasted everything with the EMP generator. But the best kind of bully, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh. All right. I think that's about it for this territory. So let's go ahead and head back to Lethos Starport. claim our rewards from the job. We got 2 jobs left, so we'll probably end up doing those. But you know, I want to answer some questions because I know you've got them. That's the wrong orbit. Excuse me. Thank you. Much better, much better. The bully generator. Woo! All right. So, if you guys didn't know, Geekbite is a little under the weather right now, so he's not going to be joining me on comms today, but he is cataloging your questions so that they can get answered accordingly. A very important detail. So, Geekbite, get better. I hope you're doing okay. And thanks for cataloging the questions to make this all a bit easier. So, first question comes from Fred Speckvit from YouTube. Is there any chance we are getting cockpit sounds like muffled weapons, etc. in the future? It would be cool if stuff sounded different from inside the vessel. The irony is that there are elements inside the cockpit that you get to hear that you otherwise wouldn't if you were just playing in third person. There's potential that we could add more sound effects on that front. Those are under the nice to have category. So let me translate that really quick. What I just said is that would be really freaking cool. The team also thinks it would be really freaking cool. And if we can do more with that, we will, if time allows. If time allows. I think the expectation to set here is to not think it's going to happen by 1.0, because if you think it's going to happen and it doesn't, well, that sucks. That sucks. Because like even for us, like we want it to happen, but we don't know if we'll be able to get there. So here's hoping, both an account for you, but also for us. It would be pretty neat. Any X4 fans in the office? I am confident we've got X4 fans in the office. I don't know who. It's not a game that I've referenced too much whenever I'm doing my work with the team. Not to say that it hasn't been used as a referential element toward our style of game. However, as you are probably very well aware, Animated Viking, X4 and EVERSPACE's foundational approach to the sci-fi genre look a little bit different. So, I want to say that even, no, I don't think it was Michael. I can't remember who it was. One of our big boys over here in the studio is an X4 fan. I'm pretty confident, but I can't remember who. But yeah, we've played a ton of. All these guys, cool your jets. Oh my gosh, we've played a ton of sci-fi games across the years. I mean, starting even from the simple, from like the original Elite and Privateer, and you know, to like the crazy advanced stuff. You know, we've got some Star Citizen players on the team, for example. Maybe not very consistent Star Citizen players, but Star Citizen players regardless. Eve players, etc., etc. Like we can go on for days about all the sci-fi games. So I know that X4 is definitely on that front, but inspiration that they may be, it does not change our foundational vision of being a fairly pick up and play styled open world-esque looter shooter in space, featuring some fast-paced combat situations. You know, I saw, it's kind of a ramble, but I saw a post on the forums. There's somebody being like, how do they say this is a fast-paced arcade-like shooter, blah blah blah? Well, I mean, if you're expecting every second that you're playing to just be filled with 1,000 chips, I mean, it's, you know, I don't know if that's the case, but like, I feel like a lot of you guys here who've played a lot, especially, like, you guys know that when you do get into a combat situation like a dogfight, even if it's a one-on-one, there is that very authentic arcadey style of combat play. You're not having to like push all these different buttons to accommodate certain systems on your ship. We didn't want to do that. We want to streamline that process, make it very simple. Again, pick up and play, where you can just engage, you can swap weapons really quick, like in an arcade game, and customize that, do absurd, crazy things that aren't realistic at all, but are fun. And, you know, it just keeps going from there. So Yeah, lots of influence from a lot of different games, a lot of different genres, but we have never said we are trying to be a space sim, even though we do love space sims. Like, we certainly do. So just kind of, that was a little ramble, but wanted to point that out. Next question from Fred Spickvet again. Now that various persons have already done Lunacy 1000 runs without legendaries, are there any chance to make rifts more difficult, perhaps in a whole different way? More to come. Yeah, I mean, there's more to come. There's more to come with rifts. We're not done with rifts. We never said that we were done with rifts. We've also said, I've specifically said in these streams that we want the rifts to be a really great challenge for the vast majority of our players. And as it stands, it technically is, but because the rifts aren't finished, I'm kind of walking some lines here, guys. Basically, just there's more. There's going to be more. We'll be able to talk about more at that certain point in the future, to kind of crack that open. Because again, also like the difficulty system, like all of the elements on this front. All of the elements on this front, these have not been polished yet. Like the difficulty has not been adjusted to where it's adding, I'm gonna call it meaningful change to the game space. That is still something that's gonna be adjusted as well. And of course that's separate from rifts. Anyway, the point is there's more coming. Goodness. Oh my gosh. It's a part 2 question. Oh, it didn't, oh goodness. It's a part 2 of the question. Let me see if I can find the rest of it. I can't find the rest of it. Can you just ask the question one more time, just so I can get added clarity? Otherwise, let's go to Bram, who said, would it be possible for maybe future DLC to have signal decoder parts drop in rifts so that we can craft our own signal decoders? Each part has a modifier, e.g. Mines on Death, which increases the difficulty, but also the drop chance, etc. Think that would make a great mechanic. I mean, it sounds interesting, but that is not in the plans. That's not a designated design pathway that we have. The pathways that we have for the rifts are more revolving around legendaries. And, the Tears of the Mad, in its sort of basic format right now, gives you a little bit of a slice of what that looks like, where if you are doing rifts at a lower level, you can still obtain legendaries no matter what, just once you get a certain number of Tears of the Mad. And regarding like the numbers of Tears of the Mad, that's all sort of like testing waters and stuff. Not 100% sure we're satisfied with it, so it's probably going to adjust it a little bit further. But in regards to signal decoders, those are very intentionally separate from rifts. Signal decoders as a whole operate in a very different playing field from rifts. Rifts are meant to be kind of obscure and hardcore, as opposed to signal decoders, which is just a test of your wits, depending on how things come together at the level that you're at. So it's not supposed to be like this enormous, insane challenge in a high risk area, but it should be something that diversifies the elements that you can approach in the latter game. So yeah. Next question comes from Twitch Sir Lion. Will we ever get an in sunlight little buff indicator for weapons that get said buff through attributes? There are a lot of little attribute buff things like that we would love to plug into this condition setup. We'd love to add those, and that is absolutely not limited to item modifiers. So here's hoping that will happen, but I don't know when or how that's going to be implemented. But I do know that's definitely been a discussion point. It's definitely something that we would like to add proper clarity for more players in the future. Well, Sloreen from YouTube asks, will there ever be tier 5 ships, maybe in an upcoming DLC? Whew. I guess that's possible. Sure. Oh my gosh. What a nice concrete answer to your question. Am I right? Here, devs, here's the question. What's the response? maybe. It's just we have to figure out how everything comes together with those tier 4 ships and the level 30 systems and the in-game content from there. Maybe that means we need to build up from there. Maybe it means we need to build out from there. We'll see. All right. So, oh, Fred Spickvet has to go. Ah, man, I didn't get the rest of your question. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm looking for the rest of the question. Geekbite, if you see it, okay. Does not seem like a brilliant idea to launch with something that people have already beat in the pre-release build. Well, yeah. That's why we're doing a save life. Among other things. Hang on a second. I want to make sure that I'm understanding this question. Various persons have already done Lunacy 1000 runs, however, there's a chance to make them more difficult, blah, blah, blah. Does not seem like a brilliant idea to launch with something that people have already beat in the previous. Okay, I see. Okay, so regarding the Rift difficulty. Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, well, we're not done with Rifts. So, we are happy with what the difficulty has provided players at this point in time. We're happy with what it's provided players at this point in time, but obviously we can do more and we will do more, as I've alluded to a multitude of times. So yeah, but we're incredibly thankful for the feedback we've been getting regarding Rifts, especially from the players who have been hitting that 1000 lunacy mark. We've gotten some pretty cool insight from individuals who've asked inside of their own communities, who've been like all doing Lunacy 1000 runs. Big shout out to those individuals, you know who you are. As well as just some clever conversations in the Discord, on the forums. And yeah, just, I do want to put emphasis on this though. You know, we are not trying to design the Rifts around the specific 1% hardcore audience that could basically beat a Rift level 1. All you've got is a booster on you. Like that's not how we're not doing that, right? We want the Rifts to be engaging and fun for the vast majority of the audience. And, you know, we do want to have those fun challenges for those who are incredibly skilled, yes. But truth be told, if you are incredibly skilled at our game and you're looking for like this penultimate challenge, I think you're kind of looking at it wrong. So we will have more challenges and more updates for the Rift to come, but just kind of keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. We still want to have some cool challenges though. We still want to have some cool challenges. Okay, so now going back to the standard list of questions, we're going to knock out a couple more of these and we'll get back to some gameplay. I'm not sure if this has been asked. This is a Kilted Ninja. Will there be any scope for tools to make mods for use with things like Nexus mods / Vortex? Mod support is something that the team would like to do, but it is not being worked on, and it is not priority right now. It's something that if we are going to pursue mod support, it would be after the 1.0 release. Again, that's a really big if. Though, if we were to pursue that, I have a feeling we would probably pursue some degree of tools in order to assist us on that front and assist you guys. Because I think just throwing a game out on the floor and saying you mod it is just, that's not very effective if we want to support modding, right? So if we were to pursue mod support, I have a pretty big feeling that we would pursue tools, yes. All right, we got a couple from Fins here on YouTube. Now that 1.0 is on the horizon, are there any news / changes about Codex? Will it be in 1.0? And if so, will it be out? Will it be about as rich a place as EVERSPACE 1 Codex? Well, let me tell you what. We had, I feel like this is a fair question because the last time we talked about the Codex was some months ago, and I recall telling you guys that it wasn't likely that we would be doing a Codex for EVERSPACE 2. What? But Eric, The data tab has a codex and it says more to come or coming soon or something like that. How can you say that it's not coming soon and it's not going to happen? I thought you said that it was going to. No. Actually, what I said very intentionally many months ago was that it's not likely to happen. We've had to adjust our workflow. We've had to maintain certain priorities to ensure all those deadlines and, promises are hit. And the codex, not technically something we ever really promised, but it would be a powerful, nice to have. That's for sure. It would be a very powerful, nice to have. Guys, I want to just mention that today I am not revealing anything. Okay, there's going to be no spoilers whatsoever, so just know that. Okay, excuse me, I need to go back to my inventory page just to look at some content. Okay, let's go to the next question. How much percent of 1.0 in-game content, locations, ships, shapes, items, cutscenes, etc., is currently in a 1.0 worthy shape, i.e. done? That is an impossible question to answer. That is truly an impossible question to answer. So, I mean, wow. So much depends on the prioritization of development on this front. So, just kind of like cracking open some information, like how does a game get developed? What happens when you reach a deadline for X, Y, and Z? What's the next steps? I've always been referring to these like priority elements and the nice to haves. What does that even mean, right? What does that even mean? Like the nice to haves is like the team doesn't want to add the nice to haves. Is that what it means? No, not at all. Not at all. When referring to the game as early access, and you guys know that it's an incomplete state and there's more to come on basically many different fronts, there's still polish that needs to be had. Some of that polish is going to add like 1% to a 99% of completed thing. Other polish to a different thing is going to add like 25% to it, right? Some stuff still hasn't been added. So technically you would say it's at 0% and it's got to get to 100%. Like it's way too impossible to form any sort of concrete, calculated, objective percentile thing that exists for our game to say, this is what percentage it's at for completion purposes, and this is what it will be at 1.0, right? Long story short, we are still planning on doing everything that we said we are going to be doing for 1.0, which has been listed multiple times in multiple places, blah, blah, blah. And all of those things are going to be at 100% when we get to 1.0. Then we'll also incorporate some new elements and some new little features that have both been requested by the community, as well as things that we just kind of desired that are simply not going to hit certain deadlines as free DLC. You guys also know that. So yeah, if I were to throw out a random percentage, it would literally mean nothing. Like I could say 5%. What does that mean? It means nothing. I could say 95%. What does that mean? All you guys need to know is that launch is right around the corner. So if it's not close to done, we're in trouble. All right, the data section, is that all planned for 1.0? Oh, what an interesting question from Sir Lion. I don't know. All right, next question we got from Fins. Is there any news about transmogrification? It's the same. It's the same response as before. If memory serves, the plan was to have it by 1.0. Any changes, any progress? Yeah, it's the same response. Yeah, we're having it at 1.0. Yeah, it hasn't changed. Wholesome Gamer on YouTube. Any plans for escort missions like in Freelancer with the join squad feature? Would be great to hire a freighter to buy, sell stuff, and be the escort. That's an interesting idea. That's an interesting concept. It's also kind of ironic in a way because our team as a whole, we're not a big fan of escort missions in games. We feel like they're very slow paced. We'd rather just like go in all guns blazing and have that style of play. That being said, obviously we have mixed in much slower paced jobs throughout the game as well as challenges throughout. So I could see that happening, but that's not something that's really on our table. It's not necessarily a priority. Yeah, we also do not want to make EVERSPACE 2 any semblance of a squad-based game. It is very much a, you are this pilot who does all these awesome things. The focus is on you and your loot. If it was started becoming a squad-based thing, well, then it would be like, well, since the focus is on a looter shooter, why can't I manage the loot of all my squads? Why can't I customize their ships? Why can't I do all these other amazing things? And that's a snowball in completely the wrong direction of what our vision is set out to be. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because like Squad, that does sound awesome. That's just not within the core design of EVERSPACE 2. So yeah, still a cool idea though. When you say Squad, even if it is something like a momentary one, which I'm sure you're getting at. But yeah, we'll do a couple more questions here. Okay, we got 3 more questions. I'll slap these down and then we'll get back into some more gameplay. I'll complete some more jobs. So from Sir Lion, when one completes Lunacy 1000 and goes back to normal game, there's a sense of whiplash. Is it possible to unlock Lunacy 1000 as a difficulty when one completes a Lunacy 1000 run? Like you guys, okay, so you guys, I'm starting to realize you guys are making suggestions more than you're asking questions. And I want to be very clear on that front. Yeah, it's an open community stream and you can ask honestly whatever you want. At the same time, if you're poking into the territory of suggestions, it's not something I can really comment too much on, because I mean we do have plans for rifts in the future. I get the sort of vibe that you're going for here and how like it's a disconnect, right? You're doing your Lunacy 1000s. However, the Lunacy runs, the high level Lunacy runs, are a little bit of a different gameplay situation than the standard gameplay experience. Okay, let's be clear. When you're doing high level Lunacy runs, you do kind of have to optimize in a particular way to play them. For example, health is irrelevant in high level Lunacy runs. Let's be real. Health is irrelevant. There is zero reason to put anything into structure and resistance in a high level Lunacy run. At least I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any sort of semblance of effectiveness in going that sort of route. Everything has to be done in a much more specific direction. And in fact, those specific directions mean certain opportunities that we would normally have in the standard play of the game simply don't exist in high level rifts, okay? So yeah, that's just kind of the fact of it. So high level rifts, they're just kind of like a different breed than the standard game. I see why you would kind of want that additional challenge for the standard game. I see that as an absolutely super niche thing that would be for like the 1% of the 1% of our audience, where if we were to put in the work to do something like that and give it to everybody, the people that are going into that are going to get really frustrated because they can't do a dang thing in any sort of standard play. I mean, even those of you out there who have been doing Lunacy 1000 rifts know that you're not just doing them back to back to back to back to back to back, okay? There's incredibly few of you who are doing that. In most cases, when you're doing Lunacy 1000 runs, you're still completing them pretty fast, but you'll do a run, you'll fail a run, you'll do a run, you'll do a run, you'll fail a run, you'll fail another run, you'll do a run. Like it goes back and forth, right? It goes back and forth for most of you. There are a few of you who definitely do churn them out like butter, and that's impressive, but still irrelevant. Okay, whew. All right. Nikolay Petkov over on YouTube. Is there any possibility to use the points from levels for something else than upgrading devices? No, there is not. There is not. Excelsior over on YouTube. As playing without inertia dampeners isn't the intended way, would you consider limiting the time the player is able to inertia drift? Or would that be too artificial? Also seems more like a suggestion. We're not really too worried about what else inertia dampening can do. We already think that it's an incredibly invaluable tool for those who know how to use it well. In fact, some people could call it an exploit. We don't care. If you want to exploit the use of inertia dampeners through your use of skill, great. That's awesome. There's not really too much more we're going to be adding or adjusting on that front, because it's not a intended way that we see to play the game. But you know, for those of you who go crazy with it and you love it, that's awesome. And we want you to continue to go crazy with it and love it. All right, last question from Wizard Jerry on YouTube, and then we're going to jump into more gameplay. Man, we've been answering questions for like 20 minutes. Woo! Just want to make sure with the Custom ship modules implemented in 1.0 release. Does that mean I can change the outfit of my Predator B2 to Orion A3? Well, your Predator B2 at 1.0 is gonna get squashed because of the save wipe, of course, for a number of technical reasons. But yeah, whenever you find a new ship in 1.0 and it's a Predator B2, for example, and you want to change that to an Orion A3, yes, that is exactly the functionality of what transmogrification will do at the full release of the game. Absolutely. All right, guys, that was a good list of questions. Geekbyte, if you don't mind to kind of organize the question list so I don't accidentally repeat questions or get that mixed up a little bit. Man, Geekbyte, ladies and gentlemen, let's just give like a round of applause to Geekbyte right now, because like, dude, that man has helped these streams consolidate the question answer format so much better. And you can even see a little bit of a difference as I'm reading them off myself. Oh, I miss his beautiful voice. Please get better soon. Oh my goodness. All right. So let's go ahead and get back into the game. Let's do a Drake signal decoder. Why not? A couple of them. And do some jobs and stuff like that. That's not too bad. I actually want that for the boost speed. The cannot be damaged sucks, let's be clear. But otherwise, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Yeah, we're still gonna do it. All right, we're gonna take it. All right, otherwise we're gonna clear out our inventory like we normally do. Yeah, we're just going the distance here. And did we repair? Yes, we did. All right. We change our color. Go with this purple one. Just keeping it nice and simple. All right. Hello there, my goodness. Let's help out Coalition a little bit. Woo! Man, yeah, this is kind of funny. Just like watching them shoot at this scout with their coil guns right now. Like every single one of you who's ever done a rift, you're like, that ain't right. That's not how that works. If you were in a rift, those would be pinpoint accurate. Like that is a hilarious. Oh my gosh. Not even mad. I'm impressed. All right. All right, what were we doing? I've already forgotten. Let's see. Let's do a search and destroy, yeah. And then after that, we'll do a high risk area. And continue to ask your questions, guys. So if I answered a question in an awkward way, feel free to follow up on it if you would like. That's also totally fine. We can have some nice chill conversations, of course. But yeah, otherwise, welcome to the stream for anybody who is just showing up. The stream plan today is incredibly fluid. We're just hanging out, we're having a good time, closing down the end of the stream. I'm answering questions.
If you insist, although the method of delivery does not alter the message.
It might be a little more pleasant. Let's just give it a try.
Of course. My default voice was not intended as overtly masculine to begin with.
Yeah, I get your point. Well, let's just stick to default for now.
As you wish.
Perfect. Guys, like I said, there's gonna be no spoilers during the course of this stream. What is that, number 3 now? Okay. Woo! All right. You know, it's always fun about, you know, doing these live community streams that you can't have any take-backsies. You know, the preparatory steps to get these things working and the smoke tests that are done. You guys know what I mean by smoke tests, right? Like you get a new update, you play it or you run it to make sure that it's working as intended. It doesn't matter how much you do these things, guys. It does not matter. If something can go wrong, it will. Murphy's Law, 100%. Oh my gosh.
This might get messy.
All right, let's take out some targets. Oh! Well, probably have that overcharged shield. All right, this should clean them up rather nicely. Yeah. One more grouping. Beautiful. All right, let's mess with these guys. Not you. I don't like you. Wow, that's terrible shooting.
Is that you? The one and only. Leave some baddies for me.
Sorry, Alec.
Down one.
I finished the job.
Thank you, Mr. Roslin. Payment transferred.
What do you think, Alec? Normally you leave by this time. Hmm?
Thanks for having me, Adam. Toodles.
Toodles! That's my line. In the world. Alright. Alrighty. Let's let's do a high risk area. Let's do the one that has the GMB reinforcements on site. And let's see, maybe I'll show you an exploit if it's still in the game, if we haven't addressed it yet.
Is it possible to change aspects
Okay,
of your
all right,
personality?
I'm hiding it from here on out. Sorry, you don't get any more of those spoilers. We're canning it. No more of the Hive Atom conversations. That one's gonna be reserved for 1.0. Somebody's like, wait, how'd you stop the dialogue? I have my methods, okay? Wait, but doesn't that also mean that you allowed us to listen to the other exchanges prior? Let's keep going, shall we? Aren't these streams fun? Don't you like showing up and just hanging out? Isn't it such a great, fun little time? I look over, I see blizzards are black. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on where you live and kind of like, I think there's also like personality traits that like kind of go in with that. I mean, I'm a work at home, dad of 5, right? So for me, it's like, I get shut up into my house because of snow and like I can't go out and drive anywhere. Oh, boo-hoo. I get to hang out with my kids and play around and like do arts and crafts and play video games. Oh gosh, it's the worst. You know what I mean? Like for me, blizzards, oh man, I'm incredibly indifferent. The only thing is that I want layers. I don't want to be cold. That's all. That's all. And even still, sometimes I like going outside and hanging out with the kids and throwing snowballs at their face because it's incredibly delightful depending on how they're acting. And it's just, there's so much from that. There's so much from that. You could break apart. It's on how you embrace it, I think. When life gives you lemons, it's that sort of thing, right? Life gives you a blizzard, okay. What are you gonna do about it? How are you gonna approach it? Now, if you're a traveling person and you got like an hour drive to work, that sucks, and I'm sorry. That sucks. And I feel your pain because I used to have one of those jobs. And you know what? That job sucked. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see if this exploit still works. Let's just see. Will you drop equipment? Did we fix it? It looks like we fixed it. So you used to be able to, like within the HRAs, you're not supposed to have loot drop. But whenever you have reinforcements on site, they would still drop loot. Looks like we fixed that. Just gonna try this elite. Oh, nothing. All right. Yep, totally fixed that bug. So anyone who's trying to do that exploit anymore, it's gone. It's gone. And now I only have one ally. Oh, nope, he just died. Well, that sucks. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't think I can handle this combat. Excellent. Oh snap! Look at me getting cocky. Oh, I deserved that so hard. Oh, the game was like, what did you say? What did you say? You think you're tough crap? All right, deal with this, punk. Oh my gosh, dude, that's 100%. All right, you know what? Fair. Oh gosh, beautiful. That was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. This is what happens when you're using a Vanguard and you don't use its mobility to dodge freaking shots. Oh gosh, let's just like get right back into that. Man, seriously, that was such a great example of what not to do. Oh, I am not even mad. I am legitimately happy that that happened. Beautiful, beautiful. Gosh, isn't this great game just so much fun? Aren't these live streams just the best? Oh, jeez. Here, let's clear out these retaliators over here, and then we'll go get that cluster on the other side. Actually, it's not as many as I thought. Oh, maybe it is. Let's just slow things down. When I say slow things down, it's only slowing things down for all of the enemies. It's not slowing things down for us. So in fact, you are kind of operating at double time in the course of this. This is also explained in EVERSPACE 1, believe it or not. What? Yeah, Hive has a remark on how this functionally works in our sci-fi world where things aren't realistic. And it's totally legit. It makes perfect sense. Oh, we're taking some shotties. Wonderful. I'm kind of curious, like, I mean, I'm using a synchro pulse and a equalizer right now. I've been really enjoying these weapons. Synchro pulse can be a bit challenging to use, but its damage output just feels so nice, even though the energy draw is maybe a little undesired. I also like the way that it, shoots twice every time. The enjoyment factor for me, like, I really like it. I'm just curious, like, what are your go-to weapons? Let's start a little discussion in the chat. What are your go-to weapons whenever you're playing EVERSPACE 2? Do you go to something that's a little bit more easy? Do you want to challenge yourself through what a weapon provides? Is it something in the middle? I'm really curious. Are you just like straight up secondaries all day, every day? Lay it on me, and I kind of want to know why as well. Like, whether it's because, oh, I just really enjoy hit scan items, or, I prefer this element that challenges my ability to strafe or get up close in combat, or whatever. I prefer just sniping with precision, whatever that looks like. I'm really curious why you guys choose the weapons that you do. I'm gonna grab these elements before Boss Boy shows up. Boy! Alright. Probably shouldn't be this close. That's fine. Well, it's good to know this bug is still existing. Sorry, Hans Christian, we gotta add another one to your 700 item list. Oof. That's a decent drop. Recharge booster, Gauss cannon. That could be kind of fun. Okay. Cool. How are you guys responding to the item question? I'm just curious. Look over here. Synchro pulse, flak. Okay, Gauss cannon. Nice, nice. Flak deletes drones and missiles. Yeah, oh, absolutely does. Absolutely. Too much to answer. Umbra, Penumbra, plus Equalizer. Oh, very specific. Synchro and Decimators. Okay, nice, nice. Let's see what else we got. Love Equalizers. Equalizers for the win. Oh my gosh. Final Reckoning, otherwise Rapid Equalizers. Okay, Synchro Pulse is all right. Good for burst damage. Yeah, it very much is. That's why I enjoy it. Like, you get a high-profile target that has a pretty strong shield and generally low to no armor. The Synchro Pulse just, it obliterates it, right? Like, so if you're like in a rift and you're taking on Okar, Synchro Pulse is just like, lol, bye. Of course, there's also other good combinations for stuff like that. For example, if you had an Equalizer that could disable the opponent's shield for 2 seconds. I quite like this Equalizer. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it could be better, but you know, for what it's worth, it's pretty devastating. Final Reckoning plus homing missiles, nice. Yup, that's always a good one. That's always a good one. It's good choices. Good choices. Auto cannon plus pulse laser and homing missiles on a striker. Nice, nice. Really good. No go-tos, just prefer half a dozen. Yeah, absolutely. I like changing things up. Sometimes, like, I'll just, I'm sure this happens to several of you out there too. Like, every now and then I'm just like, I want to try something new. So I'll just completely swap my ship and just let RNG determine what weapons I'm going to use. Like, first things I pick up, I'm replacing. You didn't see me do that in the streams, actually. So you know that I'm not BSing you all. It adds just that extra layer of flavor when it comes to just, let's do something a little bit different. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah. That was a nice little high-risk area that we totally didn't die at all in. Whew. You know what, let's listen to this music while we answer another round of questions. You guys have been asking them. Let's get on it. Let's get on it. Here, maybe we can even, let's try to, gosh, excuse me. Just try to hover like so while I answer. Yes! So the game's running. You get to see the nice little visualization there as I'm looking at your questions. So we got a question from Kazaa over on Twitch. Are you able to provide any insight into the bug where a friendly T4 interceptor appears that a few people have ran into? Yeah, we're gonna probably fix that maybe, I guess. I mean, T4 ships are not finalized anyway, so there's still going to be a couple more tweaks and additions. So if you've seen it, I mean, there's a little bit spoiled on the front. We've also already showed it in promo material, technically, but I digress. You know, there's still a slew of bugs that we gotta rectify, right? I don't necessarily know if a T4 interceptor friendly is something that we are too concerned about at this time. There's a lot of other much more important details to address. Let me just say that. Is the team happy with the AI director and how it behaves in rifts? Yes and no. Yes and no. There's a couple people on the team who are just like, AI director, it's exactly where it needs to be. It's doing what we want it to do. It's the pinnacle of evolution. Well, maybe they're not like that, but still, like, very satisfied with the results. And then there's other of us who are just like, yeah, but, and you know, is anything possible to truly embrace fully from every single person's perspective, right? Overall, though, I would say that we are satisfied with the results of the AI director. There's still a little bit more to go on that front, I think. Even with those who are really satisfied on the team, I think that they would even admit that there's some tweaking to be had, and we'll likely see that, especially by 1.0. Maybe even, well, actually, absolutely, between difficulties, the AI director has a bit of reasoning for why it would operate differently depending on what difficulty you choose. So yeah, there's still a bit to come on that front. How does the team feel? This is from T3Q. How does the team feel about music with odd time signatures this late in development? Something that is not 4/4 or 4/3 or it's 3/4. I mean, sure, like. That's all fine and dandy. Let's do 3/4. Let's do 6/8. Let's do 5/4. Throw you off for a loop. Whatever. It's not necessarily something we are looking at and like saying we have to diversify the music by doing different key signatures. That's not the main overarching goal is to just make sure that the music feels right for the game space. That's it. That's the goal. And how that's done, whether it's a key signature or if it's a wild tempo changes, whatever, it's like super crazy, like progressive technical stuff, however that looks, so long as it is adhering to the style of the gameplay experience, we're going to be more than satisfied with that. So it's possible, but I don't necessarily think that Geru's going to intentionally choose different key signatures because of a requirement. If he does it, it's going to be because it's intentional to the music which he's designing for a particular element of the game. Question from Finns over on YouTube. Is there any reason to keep doing signal decoders for a player who consistently wins 500 plus lunacy rifts? And if there is, what is it? Well, I mean, I think that you could answer that question better than I could, because I feel like you have definitely consistently won 500 plus lunacy rifts. So what do you think? Do you think that there's any incentive to do HRAs anymore? Do you value that? Is that something that you completely ignore? I feel like I don't need to answer that because I mean you have that experience, right? So yeah, I mean, you want to share that with everyone else? That's totally great. That's totally fine. High risk areas are meant to be an aspect of how the player is overcoming challenges and build up certain elements of themselves while they're pursuing the overarching story. So yeah, rifts as a completely counterpoint to that, antithesis to that, if you will, are the greatest challenges that the player will face in the game. One is alternate challenges, one is the greatest challenges. So yeah, if you are completing the greatest challenges and you're going for an alternate challenge, if it's fun because it's an alternate challenge, great. If you don't like it because it's easy, okay, don't do them. I'm not your dad, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. All right. Another question, what is ROCKFISH's estimation for how long EVERSPACE 2 would remain interesting for majority of players? These are such particular questions. I think in general, how to respond to this? I think there's a lot of different metrics to say, if a game is servicing its lifespan accordingly or not. I think the most traditional one that a lot of you guys have probably even done yourself has been, oh, if I put X amount of hours into a game based on its price point, then it's a satisfactory experience. Now, aside from opening an incredibly big can of worms as to why that might not actually be a very good metric, I'll just say this. I think that metric looks different based on the type of player that you are. There is, in fact, a lot of subjectivity to that as opposed to objectivity. I can't just say, well, players are going to play the game for this much time and therefore they will be satisfied. We're aiming for a 20 to 30 hour long campaign experience within EVERSPACE 2, but I think that there is considerably more content than just a 20 to 30 hour experience to be had in the game space. But ultimately, again, those hours don't matter. What matters is the game fun to fly through, to combat, to pursue that story, to gain new loot, to upgrade your ship, to do all these fun little side missions and quests and stuff, or is it not? That's what it comes down to. So, yeah. How long will it remain interesting? Who knows? Depends on the player. Depends on other games that come out. Depends on if big name streamers pick it up and stream it and hype up an audience, and then it becomes like this master hit. There's so many factors. It's like impossible to answer that. Whew. But obviously, we hope that it lasts for a very long time. We hope that it lasts for a very long time. All right. That is the end of round 2 of questions. Let's get to this job. Let's just do a nice chill station maintenance job. Just repair some things. Just repair some things. Okay, so I see this point. It's a point of discussion more than a suggestion, and I want to clarify that so that we can open this up just a little bit more. From Yes Indeed, who, by the way, if I recall correctly, you've been posting a bit on the forums and you've had some interesting suggestions. So thank you so much for using those and talking to people in a mostly respectable format. It's pretty nice to see. He says, it would be nice to see some non-missile secondaries through, though I see...
Let's see what...
Here, hang on, let me pause this really quick. It would be nice to see some non-missile secondaries, though I see that would be directly contrary to their intended role. Correct. 100% correct. A bomber fielding a mega shotgun or laser would eclipse existing roles. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So it's an interesting thought, and it's definitely one that we've considered ourselves. It's something that we've sort of evaluated in the game space and said, well, what is the intended role of this? What's the intended role of that? What's the intended role of something that could adjust another thing based on, what its purpose is supposed to be about, right? Like, there's a lot of those sort of concepts that sort of float in the nether, if you will, the whimsical thought mind of whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm saying specifically on this front is that there's been those ideas passed around, but we do want to have concrete themes and ideas executed for specific themed items, right? So to that, there will never be a secondary, especially a standard common secondary that operates in the same capacity as a primary. It's not going to happen. It won't happen. That being said, there could be legendaries in the future that could do interesting things. Maybe. I really wouldn't even expect that though, honestly, because sincerely, that's kind of breaking that mold a bit too much. And we're already rather pleased with the modifier that allows you to automatically shoot a missile, which is, to a degree, and just straight up the closest thing to that element of discussion. Let's be real about that. You're auto-firing a missile. It's kind of a part of your primary weapon kit because it depends on what your primary weapon is. Generally speaking, faster fire rate equals greater secondary power, right? So, this is honestly what I have up on the screen. This is honestly the closest we'd probably get to something of that nature. So just throwing that out there, cracking that open just a little bit more and providing some clarity. And of course, T3 Cube having broken the game. Funny you should say that. Stay to the end. Yeah, oh, yep, absolutely. There have been some interesting bugs that have been found, but there is no intention of allowing primaries to be fitted into a secondary weapon slot. Definitely a bug, not a feature. Woo! All right, let's grab some of this stuffs, and then we're gonna, ooh, look at this little station. Isn't he cute? And we got 10 spots to repair. My goodness, oh goodness, oh goodness. So let's just fix them up. The dedication to absolutely dismantle the game is admirable. It's exactly the thing that just helps us so much, honestly, from a level of game dev. Like early access is just a breeding ground for errors. And when somebody loves to create errors, it's the best thing ever. It is legitimately the best thing ever. So yeah, thank you for all of you out there who have found stuff and decided you wanted to do more.
Nice and clean.
Speaking of bugs, just gonna jot down a little note here. No particular reason why. If you feel like you're hearing something in your ears, maybe we just need to leave this job alone. You know, it's funny, because this bug's actually been in the game for a while. I say funny, maybe that should be sad, but I digress. I'm gonna go ahead and ping that job. I don't like this sound. It really bothers me. I'm gonna leave. Whee! Oh goodness. Let's clear this job completely. I just don't wanna, nope. We're not gonna fix the station, sorry. You are the weakest link, goodbye. Let's go do another high risk area. And after we're done with this, we'll probably jump over and do some of the, we'll get into community screenshots and then the contest that we had. Oh my goodness. Woo. All right.
That showed them.
That's the music I want to hear. Woo! A little more focus and less jamming, though. Forget how hard's really a pack a punch. Woo! Really should get those drones, huh? All right. So many drones! What? Whew. That's a lot of drones. Why? Why, game? Woo. Oh, that's not good! Oh, that's not good! Cerealia, calm down! Woo!
Toss another one off. Gotcha.
More drones! Game, have mercy! Oh my gosh! Woo. So many drones! Oh my gosh! It's really a cool. Oh my gosh! Cool your jets! Wow!
Are you kidding me? Are you talking to me?
Jeez! No! Hang on a second. What? Goodness gravy! We're just getting freaking. I don't think we're gonna make it, guys. I don't think we're gonna make it. Rip. Maybe that's it. All right. Give me my health back, please.
I'm not alone anymore.
All right, here we go. Hang on a second. We're going hard. Let's just make sure we don't get pot shot by a drone or something. Whew. That was nice. That was a fun high-risk area to top things off. Whew. That was incredibly close. But we'll take it. All right. Well, that's a good part to. This is a good time to zip on back to home base. Let the coalition on a tail. You guys won't believe this. Woo! Head on back. We'll answer a couple more questions and we're gonna be showcasing your guys' screenshots as well as the community contest shots that were taken. So there's gonna be a lot of them. We're gonna go through them a little bit faster than normal, but we should have some nice little pleasant dialogue through the course of this. So if you guys still have any questions, if you have anything that you guys wanna like, you know, casually chat about with each other for me, it'll be fun, it'll be good. That was too close. Whew. Eric equipped sunglasses. Firepower plus 30. I love that. 30%. Sometimes you just gotta go hard. Was that the right style of play? No, it actually wasn't. But it was fun. Sometimes you gotta go for fun instead of functional. All right, so now that we have landed here, we're gonna just save our little rifting game like so. Gonna dismiss this bad boy. And we're gonna transition over to the community side of things. Not that it hasn't been a focus point of the entire stream, but you know what I'm saying. So give me 1 second to set some things up and we'll show you some sick screenshots. So one moment. Won't take long whatsoever, probably, I hope. I think we did it. I think we got it, boys. I think we got it. Probably. Working? Are you working? Oh, okay, it's open. It's open. Okay. Excellent. Perfect. Perfection. 100%. So, guys, this last little segment of the stream, we are going to be highlighting some sick community shots. These shots are not part of the community contest. These are just from casual screenshots taken. And again, I'm going to kind of roll through them a little bit quickly. I just want to highlight the users who are taking those shots and say a little bit of something. Nothing too super crazy, so we can get into the community shots. But while these community sort of challenges have been going on, the screenshot channel has still been flooded with glorious photos. So thank you, big shout outs to all of you who still contribute on that front. We love them. They're awesome. They're so much fun. And all of the ones that you see here are ones that I selected either because I saw a lot of likes on them or just because I wanted to show them. So there's probably a bias in there somehow or some way. But yeah, so if you see yours, cool, be excited because I love you. This one's from Kazaa. Retaliators, nice big white boldness, highlighting with that cyan into blue and indigo colors. Very, very solid. I like it. This one comes, oh, whoops, wrong button. There it is. This one comes from Sir Lion. I'm kind of blocking the way of the ship down here in the corner, but incredibly atmospheric. This gives me all of those wonderful vibes that I'm expecting from the exploration side of EVERSPACE 2. This captures that theme so well. Just a big shout out to you, Sir Lion. I love it. The use of color is also incredibly pleasant. And you know, your gunship's looking pretty nice to boot. That is a very, very defined color scheme that works well, so keep it up. And look, I downloaded your image properly this time. We got this one from Decimad. Look, okay, I can explain. No, I can't. So there's some gimmicks in the game. You're gonna see a couple more photos of this, and man, when you guys find something that can be milked, you find an exploit, you go hard, and that is exactly what we love. This is amazing, and also I'm sorry at the exact same time. Let's move on. Captain Milo taking some shots from EVERSPACE 1. Always love the atmospheric qualities from there. We've had a number of individuals asking about environmental locations within EVERSPACE 2 that could potentially have something like a black hole, for example. And you know, guys, we're not 100% done with the game yet. Obviously, you know this, of course, you know, it's possible, okay? But again, I think it's one of those sort of expectations that we do need to be a little bit gentle with. Just because we did it in EVERSPACE 1 doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be as effective or as important in the space of EVERSPACE 2, simply because of that all-important genre change. So we'll see what happens in the future. Regardless, it's a fun little shot as a reminder of the challenges faced within EVERSPACE 1. We had BW Lambert also going through EVERSPACE 1 in this oh crap moment where you're just flying around casually and then Oka are like, oh, hello there. And you're just like General Kenobi, and it should be fine. You know, just use those blasters, which are so uncivilized, and you got it covered. So nice shot, pretty clever. We'll go into our next field here with Jared. Haven't seen a lot of stinger shots where we just like see all guns blazing, so it's a little bit out of the norm. Also, haven't had a lot of red shots lately. Surprising, because our most recent community challenge was red and green. But yeah, it's a very pleasant shot, highlighting the stinger and all of its laserings. So cool, I dig it. Nice little shot, Jared. We've got High Barf here, which a lot of you guys seem to enjoy. I do like the way that there's the positioning of the player ship down below, and then the entire environment, basically the entire environment above, spanning across the entirety of the system. You see that middle asteroid, the remnants of maybe a moon, or you know, the asteroid field itself, whatever, and then the destroyed colonial cruiser off in the distance, all while highlighting a very vibrantly colored ship. It comes together pretty well. Nice, super delicious. We've got the Thunderflame. We got a Thunderflame shot. This Thunderflame was one of our community contest winners from last week. Pretty cool stuff that he's been able to capture. This one was also pretty nice from the community. You gotta love those symmetrical shots from time to time, and this one does pretty good justice in its verticality. Yeah, nothing too much else to say on that front. We got T3 Cube. I told you guys about exploits, right? I told you guys about that's a couple more hard points than there's supposed to be, but still, does it look awesome? Abso-freaking-lutely. That is all of the laser beams. Also, it was pointed out, it's a nice way to represent the scope of, or excuse me, not the scope, the scale of the different ships in the game. You know, you have this bomber versus this bomber, but the player bomber versus the retaliator bomber, they're not the same size. In fact, a lot of enemy ships are quite a bit larger than yours. But very cool to see nonetheless, and seeing the reflections going all around. This one was inspired by Kazaa. So yeah, very nice, I think, maybe. We got another shot from Kazaa, who found yet another bug. I already forgot what the bug stems from. Oh my gosh, I know it's from the legendary, but anyway, yeah, it's kind of a fun bug in an incredibly whimsical way. Seeing all of these sort of, it almost looks like engine trails. They're not engine trails, for the record, but it almost feels like they are. It feels like there's something more going on, and it's strangely cool, and I think it was captured in a powerful way regarding the depth of field as well. Having these red highlights brings this home to see every individual target represented, as opposed to just seeing like little black splots over here, which would be hard to visualize. Very well done on taking this photo, and man, bugs, tell you what. So nice shot, Kazaa. We got this one from Crispy Muffin. It got a lot of thumbs up, and for good reason. It's a very pleasant shot of just flying off into the distance. Looks like we got a little bit of a nebulous or cloudy sort of space in this territory. I don't know if this is a random spot or if this is a specific location, now that I think about it. But regardless, still a nice way to use that depth of field to put the focus in the environment, and still being able to see your sexy ship, which you've showcased a number of times. So keep that up. I am not avoiding questions, by the way. I am just trying to get through screenshots, and then we'll get to more questions. So keep asking questions. We're not done with those. We've got this one from JetBrains, and you know, it's a bit simple in nature, and yet it works so well. I love the lighting contrast in this. I love it so much. Is there a wide assortment of colors? No, it's not needed. The variation of light here is what makes this stand out so well. Like that, this is what you would expect to see in a codex. Like if you were talking about a, say a jump gate. Like this is the scene that you would have, right? This highlights that so perfectly well, and it's solid. What a great shot. And for some reason, I am never gonna unsee this now. As I was casually looking at this gunship body, the one that's, you know, recessed inside of the body, it almost looks like these are headphones. Oh, I'm never gonna unsee that. The gunship's totally wearing headphones. Oh, now none of you can unsee it. I love it so much. That brings this home even further. So very well done, JetBrains, for that photo. T3 Cube again showing us the bug where he's putting weapons on his secondaries. Such an interesting bug because, you know, they're not supposed to generate here at all, but because of some of the rules within the game space and how the locations on the ship are actually updated based on what equipment is there, it's working as intended in an incredibly strange way. You're not supposed to be able to put primaries in a secondary weapon slot. But if you do, the visual should update. Weird. So it looks awesome. I'll say that. It does in fact look awesome. I can't argue with it. but this is not, no, that's a bug. That's a bug, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get excited. Don't get too excited. Kazaa has another one of these little pleasant shots using that depth of field, also highlighting that color green. It's pleasant. Gotta love those added particle effects that highlight the majority of the ship without something too crazy to where it obscures the viewport completely. And then just seeing the pathway forward is also nice. We got Crispy Muffin here, a more recent shot. That feels like the end of my high-risk area run that we just did earlier. Just like, okay, we gotta take care of this, except he has a cruise missile. At least I think that's a cruise missile. And I certainly didn't. So it probably fared much better for him. Very nice, very nice. And last shot for the standard shots before the community contest shots, we've got this one from the Chemical Bro. That's like a movie poster shot. The scale of this one is so powerful. Just seeing the ship in the foreground, seeing this asteroid within sort of this green haze, and the planet also far in the distance brings this shot home. And what more can I say than fantastic job? All right, so now we're gonna go into the contest. And we're gonna start just the way that we did the last week, which is we're gonna start with the lowest voted shots, and we're gonna work our way up to the highest voted shots. So we only had a couple that didn't get voted on at all. I think the only reason this one didn't get voted on at all is because it was added fairly late. So as a reminder, the theme surrounding this community screenshot contest was red and blue. Red, I did it again. Oh, Geekbyte's never gonna let me not remember this. Red and green. Red and green. You know, because of festive reasons, okay? Oh, gosh. Wow. Anyway, so let's answer some questions before... Let's answer some questions real quick before we get into the rest of all of this fun stuff. So the Slithering Peanut over on YouTube asks, what is Alex's ship inspired by? It looks like a vaguely World War II Thunderbolt. Probably. I don't know my real world vessels and military things at all. But, you know, we get in a sci-fi world, I'd be like, hey, you know what? That totally looks like a Viper Mark IV. Anyway, the point is, probably. We have a lot of incredibly brilliant minds on the team, and there are some that have pretty strong military backgrounds, or they just desire that knowledge. And so whenever they move into this formula of checking the design direction, they'll say, hey, we want to harken back to this element or that thing, or, you know, whatever. And, you know, there's very clear references to real world fighter craft, bombers, naval vessels, like all of those things. I couldn't list them off specifically, but I know that like Uva, for example, like he has an architectural background, but he also is very much into the style of like those realistic, real world applications of military and commercial and industrial, all that type of stuff when applying his creative touch and feedback on these things. So it's very possible. It's very possible that it could. So excellent. Next one we got from Crispy Muffin. Will there be a story related cause to being able to open rifts? Yes. Would feel a little odd to just be able to also casually open an ancient rift. Yes. You know, it's funny because whenever we dropped the rifts, we said, hey, yeah, you'll have access to these rifts, which is intentionally an in-game component, even though you're literally not in the in-game yet. You're level 25, you haven't finished the story. And everyone's like, oh, so the rifts just magically open and this is the end of the game? No. Yes, there's more coming to rifts, as has been stated. Oh my gosh, I hope I'm not coming across as like an absolute jerk. And if I am, my apologies. The point is, the overarching point is that we are not done with rifts. We've never claimed to be done with rifts. There are many more applications that need to be fitted into the game in order to bring the entire story to light. And one of those aspects is why those rifts exist. at all. Yes, it's a sci-fi story. Yes, there's a degree of separation from the real world. Of course there is. But also, we do want things to have a purpose for being in the game. And rifts are no exception. All right. Next one we have from Sir Lion. Why are Zerillia drones really accurate in the main game, but in rifts they're weird? Probably because we are not done and there's some buggy stuffs going on with Zerillia drones that we've been addressing for some time, and it's incredibly frustrating because of a number of reasons related to the AI director difficulty and the Lunacy Rift system, in conjunction with, I'm not gonna say spaghetti code because that's not the right word, but there's a little bit of toggling that has to be done to adjust certain elements that can have a very large impact on others. So the Zerillia drones are a product of one of those situations, which we hope will be rectified. But at the same time, do note that its power output, even in that HRA that I was doing, which I probably should have handled much more swimmingly, that damage output is correct. Zerillia firepower is meant to be some of the greatest in the game, period. It's through their armaments. And that will continue to occur. Now, their accuracy, on the other hand, we got some tweaking to do, admittedly. So, yep. All right, last one. Fins asks, will 1.0 feature nameable save games? This has been a point of conversation multiple times, but the short answer is, we hope so. As a reminder, for anybody who's like, well, why is that such a problem? It should be so easy. I mean, you do it on your dev streams all the time. Just like pull it over to the, unfortunately, it's not that simple. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. You see, I have an incredibly easy time doing something like that because American keyboard, I know that I have to avoid special characters. The second we go into the 12 localizations, is it 12? Is it more than that? We start having some major issues with saving through typing. And that is even not referring to the elements of consoles and how those operate. Because as much as we would love to just change it over since we have it in the dev build, it's not that simple. It's incredibly complicated. It's also a major pain in the ass to try and functionally get it to work for all players. Because we're not gonna add a feature that, say, only English users get. That would be dumb. So we have to be incredibly thoughtful in that approach. Like if we're gonna bring a feature over, everyone gets it. That's how that's gonna work. We're not gonna be like, oh yeah, well this feature this audience can have and this feature that, no, we're not doing that. So save games are one of those incredibly frustrating fickle beasts. Naming save games is one of those incredibly frustrating fickle beasts that we hope to find a solution for. We think we might have one. We'll see if we have that capability in 1.0. Unfortunately, that does fall under a nice to have. So, yeah. All right, so now let's get into this. We got 10 minutes-ish left. The last 10 minutes of streams from ROCKFISH Games for the year. Let's get into this community. This one we've been staring at for the longest time. This one comes from Flory. Flory, you received 0 votes for this, but I do think it's because you submitted it late last night and the votes closed shortly after you submitted it. So no worries. I do like your highlights of the green and red. It kind of goes from purple to yellow with orange in between. But you know what? It's still an honorable mention here, okay? So I love it. Thank you so much for your submission because that means the world. Next one we got from Sir Lion. I always say Sirloin. Sir Lion. I have some degree of reading usernames properly. My apologies. All right. Sir Lion really putting that emphasis on the colors of red and green here, with the red on the right and the green on the left with a bit of a mix in the middle. Again, I don't know if it was what everyone was expecting because you pulled 0 votes from this one as well. A shame, really. But yeah, still like the submission regardless. This one's actually, I really enjoy this one. This is also from Sir Lion, which also has 0 votes. But I love the way that you've captured the green particle effects, which looks like it's from Toxic Defender. I think that's what that's from, but regardless, I love the way you've captured that with the Kite Nebula in the background, giving that sort of red and green sort of vibe along the side of blue, because, you know, for some reason I'm really attached to blue, but I think you did a nice job there. I think it's cool. Oh, it's from Flak? Okay, I guess that makes sense. This one was submitted from T3 Cube. You can tell because of the way it is. Definitely a fun submission with the red and the green. Got no votes. I'm sorry, man. It got no votes. But still, I do love your desire to break everything in the game forever. So keep it up. It's pretty awesome stuff. And even though it didn't pull any votes, it's an interesting style regardless, an interesting look at what can be done. So good stuff. Now we're going into the voted fors. We got 1 vote for Deshra's here. Deshra, excuse me. With the green lights on the inside and sort of it's not really red, but it's reddish. We're gonna see that struggle throughout this competition, by the way. Is an interesting it was an interesting theme, and you guys did have some clever ways to approach it. This one's from Kazaa, very green. Love the scattergun shot as well, just putting insane amount of emphasis. I feel like your ship color was red on this front too. It gets washed out from all of that green. Next one, we got 2 votes for Flory. The interesting take within the Union system. It's always nice to get shots of things that don't get a lot of love, and this one was a previously submitted photo and screenshots a while back, but still, a lot of people don't know about this thing that even exists at all, and it's fun to see it in just like floating out here with him shooting laser beams from his ship to make it seem like it's firing off a signal or something. So nice. We've got 2 votes for Highbarf here, with very predominant reds going on, and then sort of turquoise-ish color that, you know, we'll call green. A lot of vertical shots from Highbarf in general, but I do think that he's getting better at those, so it's a nice little shot. We got this one from Kazaa. Props to you, Kazaa. This was clever. He decided to go get himself irradiated, because it has a green effect, right? Kind of a lime-ish green effect, but green regardless. And he put a lot of emphasis on his ship to be red with the explosions and everything to mix and match it. And I kind of dig the effects that's going on the ship as well. Super cool. Whew, that was too much enhanced. But I do like the way that you brought that together. Thinking outside the box, that's what I appreciate. So definitely digging that. We got this one from Radio Human, which only got 2 votes as well. I feel like that is, I asked for red and green. Look at that. We got red in the the upper right corner. We got green in the lower left corner. We got a ship that is red and green. We have a red-green sandwich on a red-green sandwich, and then green laser beams to boot. Like, that is, this hit the mark, all things thinking. I'm trying to understand why this poor chap didn't get more votes. He got 2 votes. I thought this nailed it. It's like, in particular, I'm very much a fan of the asteroids in the background using that red and that green. But yeah, kind of orange. I think it comes across kind of orange because this pink and the red sort of kind of like bleed into a different colored sort of space. I mean, you're right. We could pick apart colorations all day, every day. But overall, I think that this does really fit the bill incredibly well. So Radio Human, you at least have my vote. I'll say that. So good stuff. Thunderflame having a bit of fun. Is it specifically red? No. Is it specifically green? No. Is it close enough? Close enough. Very clever. Again, I love this style of submission. Thinking outside the box instead of just, you know, the sort of standard. Props to you. Props to you. Definitely dig it. And I love the way you organized it as well. So commendable shot. Also only got 2 votes, but I liked it. We got Crispy Muffin over here with an up-close shot with his very Christmassy Retaliator ship, who got 3 votes through the course of the competition. I'm a big fan of how you have the lights, by the way, that just adds that little extra spice, like especially like up here and stuff. It's to bring home that theme. Moving into another Crispy Muffin shot that also got 3 votes. I think it's the same ship. Is it the same ship? Yes? Yes. Pretty sure it is. Pretty sure it's the same ship. But with a blue background, because, you know, everybody, the rules stipulate red and blue. Woo! But still, a nice shot regardless. I like how all the emphasis is on the ship, and it's not an overwhelming amount of red or green, and I do like that subtle approach. It does come across well, so nicely done. Next up, we got High Barf with 3 votes as well. High Barf. There is a lot going on here, but it's definitely some reds and some greens. And basically every square inch of this thing with that orange light going, woo! Definitely fitting the bill. Nice focus. I like it. We got one from Medbed, who's got 4 votes, using a clever blend of thermoguns for that red and green. And I think he had 2 shots that were similar-ish. Oh wait, no, yeah, okay. So this one was 4 votes for Medbed, and then this one's another one of Medbed's shot. This one got 5 votes, and it's very likely because of the blue. I hope you guys weren't trolling, but you know, if you were, well played. But still, definitely like the way that it's swirling around. It has that sort of garland vibe, I think. And it's also nice to see the cockpit in that deep red too, just to kind of add a little further textural quality to the mix. So well done. The next one, we're jumping up to 7 votes. 7 votes. This one comes from Thunderflame. Look at that shot. Ooh, I am feeling that one. That is a clever shot. I don't know if there was any form of photo manipulation on this, but at the same time, there weren't anything in the rules that said you couldn't. So, I think that comes across really well, honestly. I love the positioning of the green backsplash and then the green on the ship on the opposite side with the red in the back and the red on the opposite side. Definitely comes together in a clever way. So props to you, Thunderflame. Now we're going into 3rd place. Shadowy with 8 votes. And a shot from EVERSPACE 1 even. That is commendable. Very clever. Very clever, using that red ship firing red weaponry at a red shielded drone carrier with a green solar flare event. Nice. It's definitely clear why you picked up that 3rd place title. Well done. That is cool. Next up, in 2nd place, with 9 votes, we got T3 Cube with the incredibly exploited glitch of firing way too many weapons, but are both green and red with red enemies. Oh my gosh. You guys really enjoyed this one, and it does feel a bit festive for crushing all of these enemies. Oh, wonderful shot. I dig it. You all seem to dig it. Very good. And it also makes me incredibly happy. We had a lot more people vote for this particular community contest as well, because last week our top voted image had 8 votes. This one was 2nd place with 9. We're going to the last one, which got 12 votes from the community. Congratulations to the Chemical Bro for his Christmas tree shot using his striker with this very elegant green over the top of Moria. I think that's the planet in the background, and the Drake system. Well done, well done. Just great positioning, great emphasis on colors. You even had that little dash, that little splash of red on the ship too, just to bring it home. And you made sure to get blue in there too. But all around, the Chemical Bro, seriously, congratulations! What does this mean? This means that for the next week, from now until next week, you will have the bragging rights role in the Discord. Generally, I would also provide the role of Galactic Photographer, but you already have it. And rightfully so. I mean, you constantly barrage us with beautiful screenshots. So now you get to brag about it, though, for a full week. So congratulations to you, the Chemical Bro. Keep sending us those sick screenshots. It's awesome. So now we're at the conclusion of the stream. We're at the conclusion of the year, in fact. And there's not much too else to say or do on this front, other than thank you so much to all of you for a remarkable 2022. Our early access phase for EVERSPACE 2 has gone beyond what we were hoping for, thanks to you. From your feedback, to your conversations, to your criticisms, to your delights, to your streams, to your screenshots, to everything in between. Our hearts are full of joy this holiday season because of you. And I speak for everybody on behalf of ROCKFISH Games when I say, don't stop being awesome. And I won't stop being Eric Schrader, your community ambassador for ROCKFISH Games. We'll see you next year. It's gonna be a good one because we're releasing the dang game. Ah! Super excited, super pumped, looking forward to it. There's still so much more to go, but I'm looking forward to going on this journey with you all. It's been awesome. It has been so good. So, no community contest from now until the next stream, which will be in January. Again, next week we are taking off. We're gonna hang out with our family and friends. I'll still be with you guys on the, online through the course of the next week, because somebody's got to moderate those dang channel there. But yeah, we will not be doing a stream. Oh gosh. I'm getting some emotions going on. This is such a delight. You guys seriously are just amazing. And yeah. Whew. So I already said my closing things. I got to get out of here. I know somebody's going to get a bit disappointed by this. We don't have enough time to do beatboxing. I do have to go. But I'm certain there will be more beatboxing in the future because you guys are crazy and request it all the time. But I already said it once, but I'm going to say it again because it's important. You guys have been awesome, and I have been Eric Schrader, your community ambassador for ROCKFISH Games, your servant, your guide to all things EVERSPACE 2. Don't stop being awesome, and I'll catch you next year. Toodles! Twitch, we're gonna bounce over to Corbin. Otherwise, have a happy holiday, guys. Merry Christmas, all that stuff. Be safe, have fun.